Hi, if this video somehow found you and you are 25 or 30 or maybe even 40 and deep inside you still feel your real life never actually started, then this video might be for you. Because some of the most painful failures in life don't look like failure from outside. People still smile, still go to work, still post photos, still reply, "I'm doing good." But silently, they carry one unbearable feeling. My dreams never happened. And honestly, that feeling destroys people slowly. Not in one day, but in small, invisible moments. When you wake up without excitement, when you delay the work that could change your future, when you start escaping into scrolling, videos, food, sleep, distraction, because reality no longer feels inspiring. The saddest part of life is not dying. It is watching the person you could have become slowly disappear inside distractions, excuses, fear, comfort, and delayed tomorrows. And the dangerous part is, most people think their dreams died because they lacked money, lacked support, lacked opportunity, lacked luck. But psychologically, that's usually not where the destruction begins. It begins much earlier, in gratitude. Because grateful people behave differently. They notice opportunities differently. They protect energy differently. They move differently. And most importantly, they don't constantly live in emotional survival mode. Look carefully at people who transform their lives completely. Many started with no money, no status, no powerful connections, no certainty. And yet somehow, their beliefs stayed alive long enough for reality to change around them. That's why manifestation becomes such a powerful idea psychologically. Not because the universe magically drops success from the sky, but because gratitude changes your emotional state, and emotional state changes behavior. Behavior changes consistency. Consistency changes outcomes. But here's the problem nobody talks about. Ungratefulness slowly creates psychological poison. You stop seeing possibilities. You start focusing only on what's missing. Your brain enters survival mode. And eventually, that emotional frustration turns into habits. Doom scrolling, oversleeping, escaping reality, procrastination, constant distraction. And after some time, those habits become automatic. You're no longer consciously living. You're reacting. Autopilot takes over. And honestly, that's where most self-improvement advice completely fails. Because the real battle was never information. The real battle was awareness. You know what's strange? Most people don't destroy their dreams dramatically. Life doesn't usually collapse in one big moment. Instead, dreams disappear quietly. One delayed morning at a time. One distracted evening at a time. One "I'll start tomorrow" at a time. And eventually, the brain adapts to this slower version of life. That's the dangerous part about repeated bad habits. They slowly redefine your identity. At first, you miss one workout. Then, you become someone who can't stay consistent. At first, you delay one important task. Then, you become someone who procrastinates. At first, you scroll to escape stress. Then suddenly, your brain cannot tolerate silence anymore. And this is where most people misunderstand motivation. They think successful people wake up feeling inspired every day. But psychologically, that's not true. Most high performers simply build systems strong enough to survive moments when emotions become weak. Because emotions are temporary, but systems create behavior. And honestly, modern life is almost perfectly designed to destroy those systems. Everything around you is competing for your attention. Apps, notifications, short videos, dopamine loops, instant comfort. Your brain is constantly being trained to choose easy pleasure over meaningful progress. Which explains something terrifying. Many people today are not lazy. They are overstimulated. And overstimulation slowly destroys awareness. And this is where things become psychologically fascinating. Because most people still believe discipline is about willpower. But honestly, willpower is one of the weakest systems ever created. Why? Because willpower depends on emotional state, and emotional states constantly change. When you're motivated, everything feels possible. But when you're tired, stressed, heartbroken, emotionally drained, your brain immediately searches for comfort. And that's exactly when unconscious habits take control. This is why people repeatedly sabotage themselves, not because they don't know what to do, but because their future goals cannot compete with immediate relief. Scrolling gives immediate relief. Oversleeping gives immediate comfort. Junk food gives immediate pleasure. And the brain always prioritizes what feels good now over what matters later. That's the real psychological trap. Which means, if someone truly wants to change behavior, they cannot rely only on motivation. They need interruption, awareness, friction, consequences. And that's where this product enters the story. This is the Pavlok 3. And honestly, calling it a smartwatch is completely misleading.
Now, obviously, the first thing everyone asks is, does it hurt? And honestly, that fear is exactly why this product became viral. Because humans are emotionally fascinated by extreme solutions, especially when they feel frustrated with themselves. But after testing it, I realized something surprising. The shock is not the real product. Awareness is. Because before grabbing my phone, I hesitated. Before snoozing, I paused. Before continuing unconscious behavior, my brain suddenly became conscious again. And honestly, that moment changes everything. Because habits become powerful only when awareness disappears. The moment consciousness returns, automatic behavior weakens. Which means Pavlok is not really selling pain. It's selling interruption, forced awareness, externalized discipline. And maybe that explains why people become emotionally attached to this thing. Because deep down, many people are exhausted from negotiating with themselves every day.
And honestly, I think that's the deeper reason this product feels so emotionally powerful online. It represents something millions of people secretly want. Not productivity, not hacks, not life optimization. Control. Control over their own mind again. Because nothing hurts more than watching yourself slowly become disconnected from the person you once imagined becoming. That's why people become obsessed with discipline content, dopamine detox, biohacking, productivity systems. Not because they love routines, but because they're trying to rebuild trust with themselves. And maybe that's why this strange little device became so fascinating to people. Because for the first time, discipline no longer feels dependent on motivation. It becomes environmental, mechanical, external, and psychologically, that changes everything. So maybe the real question is not, would you wear a watch that shocks you? Maybe the real question is, how badly do you want control over your life back? Because honestly, most people don't need more motivation anymore. They need interruption. They need awareness. They need something powerful enough to break unconscious patterns before those patterns slowly destroy their future. And maybe that's why products like Pavlok feel so emotionally powerful to people. Not because they sell electricity, but because they sell the hope of becoming conscious again. If you want to understand the deeper psychology behind Pavlok 3, how it actually works, how it interrupts bad habits, and whether this kind of behavioral technology can genuinely improve your life, then I highly recommend reading the full detailed breakdown on our website, Value Before Buy blog. I've explained the behavioral science, the psychological mechanisms, the real-life use cases, the hidden pros and cons, and why so many people become emotionally attached to this device. And comment below, what habit do you think silently destroys the most dreams today? Oversleeping? Doom scrolling? Procrastination? Or something even deeper? And subscribe to Value Before Buy, because here, we don't just review products. We decode the psychology behind why people emotionally depend on them.